In fact, it's kind of funny. They get burning tires off, and I tell them, no, there's a crown pit comes in there.
There's a lot in this world we on a grill. I guarantee you, there's a lot of the Gold Rush
I got to embarrass you one up just at the end of this thing, just to make sure. But you got to talk me through this. I don't know where the hell your hand's going, man.
Sat back there in the pits while you're working on the car, looked up at the big screens.
You read my mind. Fans, we live in a land with freedom like no other.
Mark Elliot. And Parker Lazenby. Get ready. Lights, camera, action. Welcome to the premier broadcast home of Demolition Derby.
What's happening, Derby fans? It's episode number 35 of the WeCrashTV Derby podcast. It's a good day. I got the boss in the house today. And don't forget, you've seen the YouTube. Like it, subscribe it, share it. You know the drill. And we cannot start these without making mention of the people behind the scenes that help WeCrash make all this happen. Tonight's shout out goes to our 726 Customs, and maybe he's probably been on this podcast as many as anybody else, Mr. Cody Knuth. Sam Williams, welcome back, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. No, it's exciting to be back, man. I haven't sat in the studio in a while, and to watch you click all the buttons, I'm like, Mark, look, it's like watching the student become the teacher once again. It's so cool to see, buddy. Nice job.
That was by mistake, my friend. That was one day when Dustin, Parker, and I'm not the guy standing in line to ask for help, so it's like, I got this, I can do this. And
give me the ball, coach. Put me in, I'm ready to go.
Thank you. But no, man, it is when I personally started doing this, we had you on just about every time, and we would start out the podcast with you, and you're a busy guy. We got to a certain threshold of trust, and you went on your way, and because you got plenty of other stuff to work on. But it was always nice hearing from you, because we always joke, and I'm sure you watch back, but we always joke and say, whenever Sam's in the room or the conversation, not only do you not know what he's going to say or tell us, but we have no idea neither. And he may make something up on the fly. He may tell us before we start, and he's adding stuff as he goes. So, man, it's good to have you back.
So I'm not sure if that's a trustworthy thing on my part, that you're going, I don't know what the hell is going to come out of his mouth next or what, but no, I'm excited to be back. I love the podcast, and man, just watching, it's fun. I was talking to Neil Carey out here the other night, and he's like, man, did you see my podcast? Did you see this? And to hear guys excited about it, and Knuth giving me a hard time. Hey, man, on my podcast, you ran Gray Area's ad. And, I mean, people care. I mean, it's cool to see the different things that you got going on. And, Mark, I tell you what, you and Parker and Dustin, it's great. Dustin and I tried to start this a year ago. And, man, it is the commitment level to do this weekly is just tough. And to be able to, Dustin even said, man, I don't know that I can do it with my work schedule. Obviously, I was having a hard time doing it. And for you to pick up the ball and run with this thing has just been a blast to watch. And I'm so proud of the WeCrash crew. You guys are doing awesome.
Thank you. And it's a win-win, because it is serving me equally or greater than it sounds like it's serving you pretty good. It is healthy exercise for me to genuinely understand and show and have interest in people for the right reasons. And you can relate to that. You are in the sales field, and I shared this with you off camera, but when that opportunity was offered to me, I was such a hard no, because I grew up believing and thinking that sales people were slime balls. And I didn't know what a sales professional was. And to do that, it can't be about you. It's got to be about everybody. That doesn't mean leave yourself out. And so this podcast, getting to talk to people like you all the way to people like Neil, eating breakfast this morning with Dusty Gilgis and Bob Whitaker down in the hotel.
Yeah.
We have had a colorful, flavorful group of guests that I've learned so much, not only about them, but about myself. And it's good. I said it once, I'll say it again. It's healthy exercise to have conversations, not with an agenda, but just to understand and learn more about people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And dude, you got Bob Whitaker to do a podcast. If you'd have told me 2 years ago you're going to get Bob Whitaker to do a podcast, I'd have said you're crazy. Bob Whitaker won't even do an on-track interview. So, I mean, it's so cool that, and the stories that have come out of those. Even Bob, I mean, I felt like I knew Bobby pretty well. And to hear the stories and to hear all these different things and what people do for a livelihood. And, you know, you take a look at you, Mark, you're saying, hey, I always thought salesmen were this and that. You just had the best quarter in your company's history and you killed it in the sales. I mean, you did what you needed to do and just killed it. And so I love to hear the wins of our people on and off the track. That has been the coolest thing to hear is, you know, you and I text back and forth. What's our win of the week? You know, what did we win at this week? Or did we have a win? And to find that, sometimes you'll hit me with, man, I killed it and I sold all this stuff. And I'm going, man, I got my ass kicked all week. Okay, I got to come up with a win. What's my win this week? Because it forces me to think of there's a win in there. I just got to find it. And so it's a good group that we're building. And to hear those driver stuff is just so much fun. And I love to hear the stories. The on-track stuff, we've seen it for 20 years, right? But it's that, how did you get here? What's the family behind you? What's the stories behind you? And that's the part that I just absolutely have enjoyed hearing.
Man, you said it before we started recording, and it got me fired up when you said it, but you just triggered a thought about Bob. You were talking about just successful people that have shared nuggets with you over the years that it got you fired up even talking about it. Well, you know, having Bob on and getting to hear him talk for 45 minutes to an hour, some of the things that he said, they stuck with me. Just picking on him for an example. And I remember when, like, he said things like, we were talking about his kids starting a derby, which they were at breakfast and they didn't want the hotel breakfast. They wanted McDonald's. But he said, you know, I hope I got another 25 years. That was like this morning, you know, he's coming off of a Vegas win, big $50,000 Whopper. And what was that, a week ago? What was that, a 20 to 30 hour drive? And then he comes back, you know, settles in for a few days. And I think they had to be here this week for Spring Explosion pretty early. And, you know, what do you say to Bob, who don't say a hell of a lot most of the time anyway? I'm like, dude, you got to be whooped. Because I'd already been sitting there with Dusty Gilgis for a little while before Bob and Bradley and the boys come down. And without hesitation, with the stoic face of, I ain't slept in a week, he said, you can't stop.
Yep. And
I'm like, he said, if you stop, that's when you get tired. And I'm like, yes. That's, I mean, think about that, Sam. It's those little 3-word liners with that pause of feeling it, that it's like, yeah, because you can't operate on that frequency that's above most everyone around you.
Yeah.
If you do stop.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, you know, that's, you know, I'd love to dive into a podcast one day that just says, you know, what separates the best from that next tier down? Is it just drive? Is it the availability of parts? Is it, because I guarantee you, if you compare their paychecks on a weekly basis paycheck over paycheck. It comes down to priorities, and it comes down to what is important for them to be the best. And that's what comes down to it. And it's, Bob Whitaker, I can't imagine the amount of money that was spent and the risk that was taken to go to Vegas, but to also commit to come to Spring X there's very few people that can be able to do that. And he's going, hey, it's what I need to do to be the best. And it's what puts him at the top of this game right now. And it was an awesome event to watch Vegas, a little bit of controversy in there and out of there, but at the end of the day, first year show, great for the fans at home. And I'm telling you what, that feature between Whitaker NLR guys and Derby Builds or Derby Nation, I don't remember which one it was, and then you got the EPR WeCrash team was like, holy crap. I mean, it was Gold Rush all over again, just not on quite as hard a track. And it was so much fun to watch. And it's like taking a chum and throwing it over the deal and watching the sharks come. And it was pretty awesome to watch those guys just lay it all on the line. And the cool thing is most of them will be here tonight to talk about all the cool experiences and different things that they've done. And it's a pretty cool family to watch the amount of dedication it took. And yeah, it's those guys are definitely at the top of their game right now.
Amen. And you said tonight is night 2 of Spring Explosion, and we got Mr. Toast, Vince Olivas himself, is running the night. When I saw Taylor put out, like these are the teams that are in, I've seen Toast Inc. at Spring Explosion for a few years now where he's not actually been on the team. So when I saw that, man, dude, we got the Winter Blues are over. He's got River City Rampage is a couple weeks away. It's like the first weekend in May. I know that Gage and that crew, the Team No Sleep, is gearing up for that extravaganza, and Ponzer and all them guys. TJ, we saw him on the live stream at Vegas. He's got No Mercy, I think, next weekend. All including Spring Explosion. These are 300 to 400 plus car shows.
Absolutely.
That are not all week. No. That's a lot of shit to pack in a few days, and you can vouch for that.
Yeah, no, and it's cool. We're getting to that time of year where everything just starts getting packed on top of each other, and it's just neat show after neat show, whether it's RCR, TJ's show out there, and you got Bash for Cash, you got Border Wars in Iowa coming up with Rob Baker, and I seen Rob come out of Vegas all energized, doing videos, going, okay, now it's my turn. We did Vegas, I was a tech, now I'm ready to promote. And so it's a lot to put on these shows, and man, I'm watching poor Taylor and Mike running around here in Champaign, and get here on Wednesday, and I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna be so early. I'm here like Wednesday at 1:00. I pull in, I'm like, holy crap. The campground was full. I mean, Mike's like, hey, we're going to put you down, clear over here, out of the way. And I'm like, I honestly thought, man, am I getting there too early on Wednesday? Man, I seem awfully early. And man, Spring X is back. I mean, it is. Taylor has done just a hell of a job on this thing.
Yeah. And when I left last night, that was an early. It was 3 heats. I think we were out of there by 9. Yeah. It was a nightmare getting off the grounds. There was a camper. I mean, not a little one, monster that was trying to. If I wouldn't have known they had their turn signal on, I would have screwed him. But I saw he flipped his turn signal on. Where is the campground at Spring Explosion? Because there's campers everywhere.
I think they have like 40 spots or 50 spots that actually has power and this and that. I'm like, Taylor, you got 150 campers here. What they're running on generators, and they're doing that. They've got them pulled in everywhere. If there's an empty spot, there's a tent or a camper sitting in it. It is pretty cool. We're getting a bunch of drone footage now that we'll get out next week of how full these grounds are, and it is packed. It is wild for a Thursday night show. Like you said, this was Taylor's. Hey, I'm going to throw out some fillers. I think he started with like the youth class a couple of years ago, throwing it on a Thursday night, just seeing what it would do. And yeah, you can definitely tell it was the start of the show last night. Grandstands were half packed. Grounds are full. It was pretty cool.
It wasn't, and that is exactly how it started. It was not just like, hey, we're gonna have a heat, we're all in this place, we got to crash some cars. Like, we had a derby last night and it was only 3 heats. No doubt he's gonna at minimum go to 4 heats next year, just because it was, I mean, we were out of there by 9. Great action. Those trucks, I mean, what a heat, start to finish.
I don't know who was in that Mario truck. I'm going to look him up and I'm going to see if I can't get him on a Gold Rush team. My God. I mean, just get a camera on him. And it was just impressive.
It was a guy named Keith Mack. And I knew I'd heard that engine before. And I figured it out when I seen the last name. You may or may not have seen, but the last 2 years, so it would have been 24 and 25 at Spring Explosion, there was and it might even have been Smash Brothers, because that was their team last night. I don't remember what team they were, but he ran a Jaguar, and he's out there with wagons, EPR, Misco Crane, Team Derby builds. He's out there with the big dogs in a freaking Jaguar with those same little shorty turnouts.
Yep.
3 or 4 speed, just wrapping that thing out. And this Jaguar was bad to the bone. He lasted pretty far down both years. So that's how I recognized his name in that engine. And it was confirmed. I did see something on social media where that was Keith Mack that ran those Jaguars. And the top 4 cars, the top winning 2 teams, 3 of them, the last names were Mack. I don't know that they're related. I would sure bet on it. I'd say that family Derby blood runs deep.
It was fun to watch. Compacts were great. Everything was good last night. I mean, it was fun to see the show last night.
It was. And speaking of shows, we mentioned a lot of shows. I'll tell you what's going to come faster than you may be ready for: Pecatonica.
We're there. I mean, we're over 100 campers now that are signed up, pushing 300 cars. We're right at like 280 cars right now, 300 cars. We have a couple spots still open in a couple of the classes, which we'll really start pushing that this next week. So our goal was to take Gold Rush all the way to Spring X, come in and support Taylor at Spring X. And then from there on, we're going to really focus on Pecatonica and the other shows. Every week, we're going to focus on, the shows that happened this week. Now we're in Derby season, right? It's Gold Rush is great. We're all excited for it. We got some more cool stuff to talk about on this one tonight. But Gold Rush is going to take a little bit of a break. And then we're going to hit Pecatonica hard, Heber City hard. And then, man, from then on, it is going to be Gold Rush and all the big shows that are going on. So, yeah, we're super excited for Pecatonica. It is... I was sitting next to Andy Oska. I always mess up his name. He runs with Minnesota Madness up there at Gold Rush, and he's got a compact team here tonight. And we were sitting up there, and I said, man, it's just a different feel at a Spring X or a Pecatonica. And he looked at me and he goes, man, this ain't no arena. This is grassroots right here. This is where Derby started. And I'm like, you are so right. You have the big arena shows are awesome, right? This and that. And I had lost the value a little bit in the grassroots this side. I was ready to cancel Pecatonica. You know what? We're not making any money at it. It's a pain in the butt right in the middle of the summertime. And I probably had 50 people reach out to me and goes, that's our family vacation. We meet all our friends there and we party for the whole week. We've done this since the Mayhem days. What are you doing? And so finding that value and, okay, then let's focus on that. Let's focus on coming in, having a fun event, 3 or 4 heats every night. That's a nice 3-hour show. And then let's party into the evening. And that's what Pecatonica is going to be. It is going to be this environment that we have at Spring X. We're duplicating that. And then obviously next year, we're going to combine Metal Mayhem and Pecatonica into one big old party, bone stock party. It's going to be a good time.
You said a lot there. What I want to pull out is, it's tough for a promoter so a summer show's tough. And you just said that with Pecatonica, and the difference in 2026 and 2006 is that Metal Mayhem was right around that time. It was right around that time of June-ish, if I remember right. And there wasn't all these other monstrosities of shows that I'll say us because I'm included, us crackheads of Demolition Derby feel like we got to be everywhere and
Yep.
be everything to everything and everybody. And it's harder today for somebody like you to pack a place like that. And you got people that it's important to them. They want to hang on to that and they want that. So I like going there. I'm glad you kept it, because it came up this morning. It came up this morning at breakfast when Dusty said, because we were talking about heat draws today at Spring X, and
Yep.
Dusty said something like, well, everybody wants to junk Bob Whitaker, or he said something about junking Bob Whitaker, and I said, who the hell don't? And his boys, he just started laughing. And I was like, shit, go to Pecatonica or Madison if you don't believe me.
And that's some of those fun battles that
Oh,
Bobby gets challenged, but you got to pack a pretty good lunch to come at him, right? I mean, you're not going to just go, I'm going to dive in the back of that wagon and just see what happens here. And what's wild is you look at Pecatonica and Madison and that Roden, Schmidt, Whitaker battle that has been going on for years. It's funny. They'll look at the drivers list. They'll be like, oh, can I get one more driver? I need to go recruit one more. They're up two over mine. And they get off the track. They shake each other's hands. They love it, but they know we're going to play for a little while, and then we're just going to beat the dog crap out of each other. And
literally.
It is so much fun to watch. And I think Bobby enjoys that challenge. I know Roden Schmitz do. They're like, man, we just want to derby against the best. We like Bobby, but he's the best. We're just gonna go and see what happens. So it has been a fun little battle that those guys have created between Madison and Pecatonica.
I think you have something at least worth noting as special too with there's some dynamics right now in Demolition Derby, and what you have at Pecatonica that you've kind of hung on to, and this is not me politicking. This is just me calling it out as you transition into now we're going to merge Mayhem. I think that there's something special that people like, that when they go to Pecatonica, it is those one and dones. And that, so if they like to be there to hang out with friends or ride around on that car trailer and party, or like whatever their jam is, they go in, they either win or junk shit, junk themselves, junk somebody else, and then they're hanging out. And there's not a lot of shows out there that it's either a big team format, big heat feature format, and then there's different dynamics of team, which this came up at breakfast too. You got your Gold Rushes and your Vegases and your Blizzard Bashes that are a week commitment.
Yep.
And then you go to the Wicked Team Show in March, and then you come here to Spring Explosion in April, and you hear things like, this feels nice 2-day show, or, like it's somewhat of a relief, but it's like, you can't just do all of one. Like the sport, it's a collective dynamic of flavors that I think there's something for everybody.
Yep, agreed. No, I completely agree. And that's even how you take a look at Gold Rush. And that's going down to just the team format. For the locals, we're saying, hey, just come Friday and Saturday. We know it's a 5-day, and that's a long, long show. But I know our diehards are, man, the heats are amazing. Everything's going to be good all the way through that show. But it's definitely going to change the flavor a little bit of, hey, Friday and Saturday are your semifinals and your finals. This is the culmination. You take a look at major rodeos. They're 4 and 5 days, but they just advertise the first 2 or 3 days as prelims. These are just our preliminary heats. This is all this stuff, which is still amazing action, right? But at the end of the day, too, hey, if you want to see the semis, you want to see the finals, we're going to stack them right in Friday and Saturday nights. So there's going to be a little bit of change coming to Gold Rush as well. But it's going to be fun this year, being all teams. But yeah, we're super excited for Pecatonica. And what I love about it is it's one of the few events I get to pull the camper down to, set up, kids, crap, it's the only event I ever bring the dog to, and it's just a good time. That it's a fun time for everybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. You said probably 15 minutes ago, we're going to, put Gold Rush to the side for a few. And I didn't want to interrupt you. And I wanted to listen to the rest of what you were saying. So I had to shut that off in my brain, but it just came back. And I was like, ha ha, funny story. You're going to shut Gold Rush off. Okay. So I'm like, here's permission for you as we gear up for things like, my first trip to Utah to work with Brad and Jennifer. That's not Ultimate Derby. That's WeCrashTV, which, you are, you're not burning the candle at both ends. And I said this to Adam Fouché recently. You've got a three-way candle that's lit on three different spots, and you're in the middle and it's coming at you. So, you've got life, and then you've got Ultimate Derby, and then you've got WeCrashTV, and you have permission to lean on us, the WeCrashTV team, to say, guys, like this Gold Rush conveyor belt doesn't stop for any of us. It doesn't stop for me. So, these are the things that we need to accomplish for Utah, and let us take some of that load off of you, because that's coming up. That's going to be here. Pecatonica, WeCrashTV will be there, and then Utah, I think, is in July. And
July
you just opened up, I believe, registration. Did you just open up registration for Gold Rush?
Gold Rush is full outside of a couple compact teams and one mod team. We opened it April 1st, and it is pretty much full at this point. Registration went extremely well. We had to make some changes on the registration side. But Gold Rush went extremely well on the registration. I think it's going to be, we've got some things coming for Gold Rush that is going to be just, it's going to be good. It's the biggest thing we're focusing on. And it was funny when I was talking to Andy last night in the stands, sitting there, and he said, what I like about Gold Rush is you guys are figuring it out. It's as much for my pit guys as it is for me. I love coming there as a driver, but if my pit guys don't have fun and don't have a good experience, we're in trouble. They're not going to come back. They have to take off vacation time too. How do we keep it for them? And that's going to be Gold Rush this year. We have it timed down to every heat is 17 minutes average all the way down. Great. There's 3.5 hours for that night. There's 3.5 hours for that night. And so the big thing is what happens at the after party. We debuted it last year, and when we get closer, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because I don't want anybody to steal my ideas. But I've got a couple things that are going to be at that after party that are going to be just phenomenal, that I've learned from other events, learned from other people. But that party that's going to go from 9:30, 10 o'clock every evening to whatever time, it's going to be a good time.
It spews out of you, man. And I've gotten to know you well enough, working with you, especially this year more than ever, that I've never heard you talk about. You started to grin a little bit when you talked about there's some stuff coming, and I grin a little bit because I'm like, yeah, that's what you think, and you're going to add to that and that, like, you just don't stop. It spews out of you, and it's never not under my eyes and ears. It's not like this person did this, so I'm going to do this. Like, your brain just doesn't shut off for how can we do better. And you said something that has came up on every podcast with those mod teams. They talk about their crews and what happens in those tents more than they talk about the Derby.
Yeah. Don Santel said it best at Vegas last week. What's the first thing he said when they go to interview him after the win? Don Santel looked back and he goes, that Derby ain't won here. That Derby's won back there. This Derby right here was won back there. And that they're so right. I have enjoyed this year so much because, we get to go to Cornhusker Chaos with Chris's team, bust butt for 4 days and watch the poor guys who have to work through the night. Thank God Chris stayed on the winner side. Then we go to Capital City Carnage and, of course, draw NLR Whitaker first round, and go, oh, crap. And so we end up working all night. And I'm going, this is the side of it that I haven't got to experience in years. And so this year has been so good to watch Chris drive and me pitting for him and all the guys. There's 30 people that were in that Cornhusker Chaos pits and watching all of the Molmans and everybody work all night long, all the way. I mean, we were all there when the sun came up and it rained half that night and stuff that some of the guys are going to have to deal with tonight at Spring X. You're going to find out who wants to win this show right here tonight when it's raining and they're fixing their cars. And that's, we're not supposed to have rain till after the event, but it's going to be while they're fixing their cars if it hits like the forecast says. And that's when you find out who wants it more. And the people that outwork in the pits are typically the ones that do it. So if you don't have enough crew to get that car back the way that you want it to be back, I have the same drive to build out our production team, to build out Ultimate Derby, to build out all the same thing that these guys have for their crews. And I can see a path. And Mark, if you and Dustin and Parker and Sloan and everybody tomorrow said, we don't want to be part of this, I just watch my dream just go down the tubes, right? I can't do this by myself. I don't have a chance in hell. And I can't replace you guys at this point. I mean, this is what we're building. The drivers are the same way. The drivers, without that crew, there's no way that they can see their vision of that car coming back together and being back on there. So now they got to start cutting corners. Ooh, I lost a Parker. Ooh, I lost a Dustin. Hey, Mark, we can still do this. We just got to cut this, and this out. Oh, we lost a Sloan. Okay, now we got to cut this, and this out. The drivers are the same way. If they lose 2 or 3 people off their crews, the back end's going to have to be just good enough. We got to work on the front end. But if you have enough people, I get my back end perfect. I get my front end perfect. That's why if those crews don't come, that experience ain't near as good. So how do we create a good enough experience that those crews go, had the best time of my life and didn't even get in the car?
Yes. Somebody said on one of the podcasts, it was something about appreciation for those people. And I said, here's the deal. You'll never in your life give them the appreciation that they actually earned. You can say thank you. You can buy them gift cards. You can take them out to eat. You can do all these things. And they genuinely love and appreciate those things, no doubt. All they want when they're back there grinding, welding, beating, they want to see you go and deliver. They want to see that car perform well. When that thing pulls on the track, and my arm hair standing up now, when probably 2024 Gold Rush, and me and Michelle were going, she went with me that first year, and 23 or 24, and we had went to the monument the first day, and then I wanted to go see the big Crazy Horse head. I'm a Neil Young fan, and I went to I was waiting for her to get ready and went downstairs, and I found Mr. Gage in his own way down in his tent, and he's ready to start loading these stuff up for whatever reasons. Hey, it happens to the best of us. And for me to walk down there at that time, and for me to even walk into somebody's tent anyway without thinking, whatever, not welcome, they're not there, like all these things, besides I'm going to walk in and find a friend and have a great conversation with them. Those things aren't going through my head, but I find Gage sitting there, and I called Michelle and I said, we're not going to the thing today. I told Gage, I said, I will help you. You're not loading your stuff up. We're going to work on this car. This is what you came here to do. Day one didn't work out the way you wanted, but let's leverage that into something even better. And he went out there in that heat and just like everything I explained, he delivered. And it was awesome. And I think they won like the B main or whatever. And that's not what they went there for. But when he got out of that car and he was wearing that ME 527, he didn't have to do that. That thank you when he got out and did his interview and he was wearing that shirt, he probably could have gave me $2,000 and said thank you, and it probably wouldn't have meant as much as like getting to watch him go out there and perform the way he did with the car that we busted ass on all day. And then, him get out and do that interview and thank all the people that helped him. It's just like, I think you're onto something with that. So keep your wheels turning because, not just how do we keep the drivers interested, like how do we keep the tent interested?
Absolutely. And there's some things that we're going to be doing every day for the pit crews and as they're working. And so there's different things that we're already planning for Gold Rush. And like you said, it's, your biggest strength is your biggest weakness, Mark. And that's my biggest strength is I'm obsessive. I mean, I obsess over this sport. I mean, I love my job. My job is great. And I love what we do, but man, this crazy sport just keeps me up all night going, okay, how can we just get that little bit better experience? How can we just do this? And I see it translate into my work and going, how can we get that one more sale? How can I be the best at what I'm doing here? But it's also my weakness. My girlfriend, Alexa, says, is there a night that we don't have to talk demolition derby? I'm like, probably not. It is probably not going to happen because like you said, that candle's burning all the time. And I'm going, I've got to beat it to the middle. If it burns before I get everything accomplished, I failed. And that's, I don't know if you get that feeling the later you get in life going, hey, I'm going to turn this over to my kids someday. Did I do enough for them? Did I do enough that here, when I handed it to you, it was good enough. You could now take it and run with it. Or is that me not trusting that they can do it and going, hey, I got it to here. Good luck from there. You guys have it. And I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just such a drive in me going, I want it to this year will be the best. Next year will be the best. And it's obsessive for me. It's tough, but it wears out everybody around me. Chris will tell you, he goes, Dad, you have to stop. It's a good spot. Just stop. And I'm like, dude, I can get one more out of it. And we're going to talk about this Deadwood thing. That was the one more. When I said, if I can just get one more nugget out of this show, and it's not money, I can get one more nugget of experience out of this event and people can see what I see in my head every day. That's what I'm after. And so when I first presented this idea to Chris and Nicole and Alexa, they were like, you want to do what? You want to stretch out Gold Rush even further? What are you thinking? And I'm going, trust me, hear me out, process it. And I can see it. And presented it to those guys again and the drivers, and it's exciting. So I'm super excited to talk about it. I'm
gonna yank the reins.
I know, buddy. I know you are.
I'm gonna pause on that, and I just want to add some icing to what you just said.
Yeah.
When somebody asks me, and if they could ask me right now, or they asked me 10 years ago, what's your favorite car that you've ever built? It's always the last one.
Yeah.
Because every time you build a car, you're better because you learn. I can speak for myself, and I'm learned in this stage in life that no matter we might feel alone sometimes, we're never alone. Other people have similar experiences that they can relate. Another thing that I love about this podcast. So when you're like, every show you're trying to take to that next level, regardless of what anybody's doing on the sides or behind you, or I literally said it to somebody last night. You said Neil, it might've been Neil Carey. And it all blends together for me. But when you drive your car down the road, I said, Neil, if you look out the left or the right or the rear window long enough while you're driving the car down the road, what's going to happen? You're going to crash it. And is forward thinking. And when you get that kind of laser, and easier said than done sitting here, right? Easier said than done in the moment because there's distractions everywhere. Somebody will ask me, how, I went to Illinois today to the Derby. what'd you take? 39 or, and I'm like, I don't know.
Whatever the GPS said. People ask me, how'd you get here? I don't know. I seen Arkansas, Texas. I think I seen Memphis on the way. But hell if I know, man, I was on the phone and doing business. I have no idea.
Michelle's like, do you see them 10 deer standing there? Nope.
Nope.
Looking right out the front windshield.
And your mind is 40 places else besides
Now-
that front windshield.
Now, I think Neil kind of reminded me, well, we still got to glance around.
Yep.
We gotta know our surroundings. But, and I just told Frankie Guy this also, actually Wednesday morning that he had a stroke. I said, Frankie, when somebody does something to you, or you hear that somebody said something about you, or whatever it is that you hear or see with your eyes or your ears, and it bothers you, without automatically, there's an anchor that gets hooked to your ankle.
100%.
You don't get the choice of whether it gets hooked. From that moment forward, and you get that gut feeling like, what the F? Anchor on your ankle. And from that second forward, from your very next step, you get to decide if the son of a bitch stays hooked up.
Yeah, you're so
Sam, you're ready to rock and roll. Fans, the reason that we brought Sam on, not just to catch up, because dude, this is great.
do this all day.
He's working on something that he told us about, probably a month or so ago, and he's put so much work into it. But before we talk about what's next for Gold Rush, and I just want to say this out loud, Sam, in the next podcast, I want to talk about Heber some, because I know nothing about that. So I'm going to plug Dustin's brain about that, because it deserves. July's going to come quick. So I want to plant that seed now. So I know Dustin's going to watch this and he'll hold me accountable to that. But before we talk more about Gold Rush, Mr. Sloan Pickett has put together a little video for us, and then we're going to get into because people right now at home's going, what's he talking about? Deadwood, what's that mean? Gold Rush is in Rapid City. So I want to get to what that meant. So I'm going to play a video here, and we're going to rock and roll.
Sons of Rome! Warriors of the Colosseum! This is the moment of your glory!
If that don't get you ready for October and November, buddy, nothing in your life ever will. Sam, I'm a driver. I'm a fan. I'm a team. What have you been working on, and what do you got going on for these folks?
So the one thing with Gold Rush is 5 days, right? So long of an event. And those poor guys don't get to see any of Deadwood. They don't get to see any of Mount Rushmore. They don't get to see anything outside that parking lot in that tent. Now, we've made it as comfortable as we can for all of our drivers in those tents. But I said, man, what if I could bring them and give them their own experience in Deadwood, South Dakota, a couple months early? And what drove this thought was watching UFC. And if you look at a lot of things that we've tailored Building Ultimate Derby out over, has been UFC. It's how did they get started? Because they got started through pay-per-view, just like we are. They got started. Mainstream wanted nothing to do with them. Mainstream wants nothing to do with Demolition Derby. They were viewed as the white trash fighters. Were viewed as the redneck car crashers, right? So we've tailored so much stuff after UFC, and I really look at the different things that they have done and the different things that we're trying to do. And so we come up with this concept that said, what if we brought not only all the drivers, but any fans that want to come too, and we give it the basically a Deadwood experience, and WeCrashTV sponsors this. And so what we're doing is we've invited all of the teams from the Bone Stock Nationals and the Modified Nationals are invited to Deadwood. Next year, we're hoping to have trucks and everybody else there. Trucks are coming on hard with the Bone Stocks. I believe that that's going to be I believe you're going to see qualifying trucks and national trucks after this year. These trucks they're phenomenal. But for this year's Deadwood, it's going to be at least one representative from every team is what we've asked for the commitment from the teams to do. We're bringing them to Deadwood, South Dakota on August 28th, 29th. And so what they'll do is they're going to come into Deadwood, and we're just going to have a fun Saturday. Go downtown Deadwood. If SRDB or Eaton's or one of those haven't seen the arena yet and they want to see the arena, great. We're going to have all that set up. Let's drive you by the arena. We'll show you around. This is what you can expect. I know so many times when I pull into a new event, I'm like, I don't even know where the hell to go. I mean, I don't know what the facility's like. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to expect. What do we pack up for tools? All this kind of stuff. So we're going to show them the space that they basically get. We're going to show them all of the ropes. Anybody who wants to see the arena, who cares if you've been there 5 times, you want to see it again, great. Then we're also going to get discounted ATVs if they want to go out ATVing on Saturday. Go ATVing. I'm going to bring my buddies up. They're bringing up their ATVs. We're going to show the back of the hills like people haven't seen before. We're going to show them spots that are just the locals know about, right? So we're going to take some people up ATVing. I think a lot of people are just going to go downtown Deadwood. It's casino after casino after casino, and it looks like you step back into the 1800s. I mean, Deadwood is just an old town, and they literally do not let any businesses come into town that looks new and fresh. That's not the look they want. They are after this 1800s vibe. It's like you're in an 1800s saloon town. So we reached out to a couple of the casinos, and the Lodge out there is one of the big, nice casinos that we didn't even think we could probably get into. Very expensive rooms. It's the high end, sits above town, just beautiful casino. They said, yeah, we want to play ball. And so we got discounted room rates. And so what we're paying for is we're paying for every one of the teams. They can either come in Friday night and Saturday night, or they can have 2 rooms on Saturday night, their choice. And so everybody's texted us and said, hey, we'll take 2 on Saturday. Nope, we're going to be there Friday and Saturday. We want to party all day Saturday. And then what we're going to do Saturday night, we're going to have a big buffet for everybody who's there. And so we're going to bring in the food, big buffet. They give us a conference room right off the casino floor, and we're going to bring in the WeCrash crew. And again, WeCrash is putting up the money for all this, and we're obviously going to be looking for sponsors to help out. But what we're going to do that night is we're going to have our heat draw. So we're going to go ahead and do the heat draw 2 months before Gold Rush, and it is going to be. And it's funny because some teams have said, man, I really look forward to that. I want to know who I'm running against. Other teams have been like, man, I don't know if I like that. That's 2 months of anxiety of now I know who I have to run against. And the cool thing is you're going to be able to see the bracket all the way to the end. The only thing that you won't be able to predict is who's going to come from that backside and fill out the semifinals. And so it's going to be really cool to see how in your mind, how does that lay out? So, it's going to be really, really cool. And what it's setting us up for down the road, this is going to give us the ability to hopefully present. What we want to do is we want to present this to Deadwood, right? Deadwood's the big casino town, lots of gambling, all that kind of stuff. Is Demolition Derby a fit for gambling? Is this a fit? Is that a fit? Where's the next thing that Demolition Derby can go to? So we got some really cool people that want to come and talk to the drivers and see everything. And I think it's going to be a good time.
As I expected, I knew about the heat draw. That was pretty cool to hear. I heard the heat draw is like 10% of it.
Right.
I heard people that maybe have never got to hang out before, maybe even never meet without the distraction of a derby. I heard something that I think there's something special that the wife or the kids or the whoever that's not the driver or the pit guy is like, oh yeah, we want to be a part of that. Love to gamble or don't, love the scenery or don't. It sounded like a good mix of a lot of things for everybody. And continuously, man, it's like you give and give and give, and I think that's where the kids, Chris and Nicole, God bless them. I think that's where the kids are like, Dad, stop.
It is.
But you just can't get enough of it, man, and it's infectious. It's strategic in a way that I want these people to feel appreciated. I want them to experience something that they never have. And I freaking love Deadwood in South Dakota, and I want to share that with them outside that distraction of busting ass on cars.
Yeah. And, I hate that we cram these heat draws into such a short window. I love Taylor. Spring X is amazing, right? I'm so proud of Taylor and what they're doing here. Derby Icons killing it this weekend. And how cool is it that we're doing a show basically in the middle of an event, right? We usually we're a week early, we're all that stuff. But I'm watching this heat draws today at 10 o'clock in the morning by noon. How people aren't even going to know who's running against each other until it's like, who drew who? Man, we have 2 months to talk about these guys drew these guys. These guys drew these guys. And it's going to be so much cool stuff that we can build around the height of these teams and give them the recognition they have. I mean, Vegas, right? You have two of the most iconic teams at that show that end up in the feature together. You have a CPI, an EPR, all these different teams. If you knew that CPI and Derby, I don't know if it was Derby Bills or Derby Tees, but whichever, the NLR Whitaker team, if you would have known they were drawn first round, oh my gosh! Now I may go to Vegas and watch that. That's going to be a hell of a first round. You know what I mean? But not knowing that, it's like, anything could happen. Man, you're going to know when you come to Gold Rush that you're going to see A against Z. You're going to see B against Y. It's what's going to happen, and you're going to know who you're coming to watch the whole week of Gold Rush. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
There's something special to that, and I know you're always 10 steps ahead and no doubt you've thought of that, but I think the runway is long and possibly endless for, and then before I go there's also, you got to pace your energy out because you only have so much energy from now until then, so you got to pace that energy, but you can spend some energy on the marketing side of it, because there's always that heat draw, no matter what. It's the buddies drew each other, or the opposite end of the spectrum, the team that everybody's cheesing about drew the team that nobody expects to make it out of the first round, which I don't think you find that much. I think we're past that at a top tier show, a Gold Rush or a Vegas. Like, typically there's not a team that's just going to be a layup, but maybe it's a team that people think is a layup, and who don't love an underdog?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's going to build, I think it may even change car styles. It was funny. I was talking to Knuth and, Neil Carey and all those guys are hanging out here. And I asked them, I said, would it change your car? And Neil said, nah. I'll bring the same car no matter what. And it's interesting. There may be other drivers that go, oh crap, we drew them in the first round. Okay, I'm going to switch my car up. And you don't know. But I mean, the Gold Rush, it's going to add another spin to Gold Rush that I think is going to be, it's just going to add another level of visibility to the show that says, okay, it's going to just get people that much more involved. And the cool thing is all of it's going to be live on pay-per-view. We're going to show the experiences these guys had. Mark, you and team are going to be there, and it's going to be a live broadcast, free to everybody that gets to show all these drivers just get to hang out, have great food, had a great time all day. We're going to do a heat draw, and this heat draw is going to last a couple hours because we're going to bring the teams up and talk about, you guys just drew each other. How you feeling? How did you guys, have you competed against each other before? Tell us a little bit about this. And it's going to be excitement and nervousness all wrapped into one big bundle. And I think it's going to give the fans a really cool experience.
You know why people like us just can't shut the switch off for the sport, can't get enough, keep coming back? it challenges us in ways that we can't predict. When you said Neil Carey said, "No, I wouldn't change the car." Say that now,
Right.
and then draw somebody. We I don't know if I'll ever learn in life that I don't have a crystal ball and I can't predict the future or how I'm going to show up, which is why when people say things like, "I would have done this," mother effer, if you, until you've been in that situation in that moment in time and feel what that person has felt, you have no idea how you would respond. You may think you know yourself pretty good, but until, you went to cars, I went to people.
Yeah.
Like, we we drew hell EPR. We need another hammer on the team. So you may even see some, I don't know how deep the animosity will get, but there's no predicting it.
No, I think it's going to add another level of just another cool level to the show, and we're super excited for it. And it's the one thing that I keep saying about Gold Rush is, Mike Tyson's whole adage of you always have a great plan until you get hit in the mouth, right? And that's Gold Rush. You've got to be able to plan to get hit in the mouth over and over and over. And I don't care which team it is out of those 12, they are coming to hit you in the mouth at 100 miles an hour. And that's what I love about Gold Rush. And we are going to push that fact over and over, that if you have not seen it in person, and I love the pay-per-view, and I love that. I understand not everybody can come to Rapid City, South Dakota. I get that. I understand it. It's a tough economy year. But, man, I'm telling you what, if you have not felt $170 million stadium that is freaking massive, 4 stories tall, and at the 4th floor, you can feel these hits in your chest, you have not been there. You have not been and seen a derby. And it's a whole nother level. And we got some other cool stuff coming for Gold Rush, and I'm super excited for it. But yeah, this heat draw is gonna. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna see us go coming out of Spring X. We're really gonna focus on Pecatonica and Heber, Utah, and all the other shows that are out there. Then coming out of Heber City, we're gonna really focus on this heat draw and really all the hype that's building up to the heat draw. And then from then on, it'll be, Gold Rush and, focus on a little bit of Blizzard Bash and TJ's fall show. And there's everything starting to weed itself out into, the cream of the crop are definitely rising. And we're excited to have the teams we do, and watching the guys who qualified for Blizzard Bash this year. They're going to have a great show. And we're not trying to outrun anybody. I'm trying to outrun myself. And that's the biggest thing is I don't watch a lot of what other promoters do. I don't watch, TJ's got some amazing, if there's an innovator, man, it's TJ and all his Reaper stuff and his cards and all the stuff he's got his lane, and man, he's killing it in his lane. And I've had other promoters tell me, hey, I'm not changing nothing. I'll run it in the ground if I need to. It don't matter to me. For me, I'm just outrunning Sam every day. How do I outrun Blizzard Bash when I had it? Because it was good. It was sold out. How do I do that better? How do I rebuild some of that and make it better and better? And that's the deal that we try to do every day is, how can I outrun me today more than I did yesterday? And yep, it's obsessive and everybody around me gets tired of it, but it is fun. I can't wait to see where we're at in another 3 years, because I got other people coming to Gold Rush to watch to see if they want to be part of it. And it's going to be, we got some cool stuff coming, Mark.
You got my wheels turning. About delivering for those that can't or choose not to. I hate the word can't.
Yep.
It's not in the cards yet, or maybe ever, to actually go there. But on the broadcast side of things, we got to deliver something special to those folks that are sitting on the couch or at the bar or at the table or whatever. And, something else you said there about I'm trying to outrun Sam, every morning when I'm praying or I'm setting behavior goals or attitude goals or what do I want great to look like today, one thing that I'm always saying is delivering my best self. I said that yesterday before Spring Explosion. I got a lot of stuff on my mind with Frankie having a stroke, and I'm like, God, give me the strength to deliver my best self today. And if we're truly living the life of being a sponge and that continuous improvement mindset, and we're a student of the game and we're learning, and every car is my favorite car because every car's better because I knew something I didn't know on the last car, then and if the goal is to deliver your best self every day, what Bob Whitaker say, you can't stop. It ain't okay, I gotta do this next week. It's every day. And dude, it is I'm blessed and thankful to be part of it, the journey with you. I'm glad whenever I attempted to retire, and that lasted 2 months, that you were welcoming me back to be part of, because that always meant a lot to me for Gold Rush, because I saw what you did with Blizzard Bash, and I never got to be a part of that. I never even went to it. I just got to watch it from home. So I was that fan sitting at home watching it and enjoying it. And to be part of a Gold Rush with a company that's already did something special once, no doubt. I had no doubt that it was going to be something special, and it's still in that process. I'm thankful to be part of it from ground zero. That means something to me.
Yeah. Well, and we love having you on board and the team on board. And I want to, just let Frankie and family know that we're praying for them. And I know he's had a whale of a tough week this week. And, I could hear it in your voice yesterday. And I knew how tough last night was going to be doing the announcing with all that on your mind. And we talk about things of head trash and everything that we've got going on inside our head. And are we overthinking? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? And, there's 9 other things that nobody even knows that's going on, that you and I talk about at different times. And to hear you open that show last night with more passion than I have probably heard you open a show with in a long time, probably more than I've ever heard. I mean, it was more than I've heard at Gold Rush. And just to hear you pour that hurt or excitement or passion into that opening last night, Mark, I'm telling you what, man, the old hair was up on the back of my neck. So nice job. I know you're going through a lot, and I know Frankie and family are going through a lot, but I just want everybody to know that we're praying for them. And I'm telling you, if Frankie and family needs anything from Ultimate Derby, WeCrash, anything like that, man, we are one phone call away, whatever they need. And I know everybody here at Spring X feels the same way. It's been talked about a ton here. So it's everybody's praying for family. And Mark, it was pretty awesome to watch you open that show last night, and it's going to be a phenomenal show tonight. And I can't wait to watch you.
Well, I got a rule that, thank you, first and foremost, that you got to keep building. It's what we've talked about for the last 10 minutes. So the rule is, for a show or a promoter, or, you got to start pretty good.
Yeah.
But there cannot be a plateau and there cannot be a peak. So last night before we closed out, I said, we're going to get bigger, better, louder as the weekend goes, fans. So I'm charged up even thinking about it. And no doubt, one of the sweetest sounds to a person's ears is their name. And when he hears his name, and I know he's going to watch this podcast, he's going to appreciate those words that you said, because that's not a phone call that I've ever got. And, respect goes out to anybody that's ever got a phone call like that, or worse. Hearing something, your buddy that you just talked to and busted his balls that morning and told him the anchor story to try to get him to get up off his butt and do something productive, that they found him on the floor, and his wife gets there and the helicopter's parked in the front yard, and to hear him talk on the phone and just bawling, of all I could make out was, I'm so scared. And like, what do you even say to that? Like, right. Rule number 1, don't be a
Now you sound like us. Now, that's the non-empathetic side of us, Mark, that we're not allowed to have.
But shout out to Taylor Stacy. If she ever listens and hears that, that's her rule number 1, and I've never forgot it. But Sam, awesome. Buddy, you I couldn't think of a better segue to end a great hour. is great to have you back, and great to hear even more detail about something that, the sport has never seen something like that. So no doubt it'll have its kinks, but I just encourage you that when you're doing something that you've never done before, others haven't done, it's just something fresh. The fact that you even are going to press play on it is more than the next guy has done. So whatever that is, people are going to love it. Fans at home that get to watch it and feel like they're there are going to love it. And I'm excited to be a part of it. So Sam, any last words before we head over to the track for the heat draws?
Nope. If you're not going to be able to make it out to Champaign this weekend, get it on DerbyNation.tv. They are going to be pay-per-viewing it. Taylor has busted his butt. Mike, the whole crew here at Derby Icons, phenomenal deal. And we'll have all the rest of the stuff for everybody who wants to come out to the Gold Rush Heat Draw in Deadwood on the last weekend of August. We'll have all the details out, your room rates, all that kind of stuff, and where we're all staying. So we'd love to have you. Come join us. It'll be a lot of fun. You can just hang out with your favorite drivers when they have no pressure. You're not interrupting them working on their cars. They're purely there just to have a good time and talk to you. So it's going to be a good time. And we got some cool stuff coming. So again, Derby Nation tonight, we'll have everything from Spring X, and we're ready to roll. It's going to be a great show today.
See, just like that, you said something I wasn't even thinking about. It's not just for anybody can come. Bring it on. Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep. So more information to come on that. Follow Ultimate Derby. Follow the WeCrashTV Derby podcast. We'll put out more information as Sam does share it. But fans, all the way to the people that came to me last night and said how much they enjoy the podcast, we're enjoying it too. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode number 35. And one last shout out to our sponsor for tonight, 726 Customs, Mr. Cody Knuth, myself, Mark Elliott, and Sam Williams signing out.